Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I want to have a one-on-one with you guys about you don't know what you have until you lose it. And this is for my generation, younger than me, or people that are older than me that can give other young men advice around my age or much younger than me. And not just men, because I do have some followers that are women that are subscribed to my channel, but you don't know what you have until you lose it. And I think that's very important in multiple ways, because not only is life short, let's say you do love somebody and you want to be with them and they pass away, but you didn't treat them so well, and then the next day they pass away. You know, motorcycle accident, car accident, they commit suicide, vice versa. There's a lot of ways, right? So you didn't get to appreciate their love, you didn't spend as much time with them, you didn't treat them so well, and then they pass away the next day. So this is where it still goes under, you don't know what you have until you lose it. And for me, I've lost a lot of relationships because of my personal behavior. So this is something that I can give advice on, what I've learned from other men. And the one thing about me is something that my ex-girlfriend always didn't understand, where I was coming from, is that I would talk to other men about my situation. It wasn't to talk bad about her, it's how to deal with the situation. It's not like other men are saying, hey, you need to leave that woman, hey, you need to leave that woman. It was never like that. It was other men telling me, hey, okay, this is how you deal with this situation. And so the advices that they given me is the same advice that I will end up giving you guys. And again, I don't want to mention them. I'm gonna say some of them are friends from work, and some of them I've met through YouTube itself and became close friends or associates, however you want to call it. But advices that was given to me, I'll give it to you guys. And then, but let me explain to you why I say you don't know what you have until you lose it. When you find yourself a good man or a good woman, and that person is down for you 100%, and you have them wrapped around your finger, and they're deeply in love with you, they're willing to do whatever they like, whatever you want, they'll jump for you. They're not perfect, but they're still showing you a lot of love, attention, loyalty, all of that. Me personally, I messed up a lot of relationship where it was the woman that was the good one and I was the bad one. So this is where I didn't know what I had until I lost it. Or I got into a relationship knowing that I wasn't completely healed. So I took a negative situation and didn't heal from it, and I brought it into my new relationship. So I want to give you guys my personal life relationship to you guys, so you guys can see, like, okay, he's not lying, he's not bullshitting. So my baby mom's was a good woman. I just was in a bad situation before I came to her, and I destroyed a good woman. So I didn't appreciate what I had. The one thing that I can say about my baby moms, even though she was a good woman, the relationship wasn't going to work out, because she's a good person. She wasn't bad. And yet she had her insecurities. She was very jealous, very insecure. But it wasn't so bad to the point that we was arguing about it. I always reassured her that I wasn't cheating. But to go back to, we wasn't compatible. We liked video games, that's about it, and a little bit of music that we liked, but that was about it. We was not compatible. We was totally opposite, and it wasn't good. I did get a lot of attention from her, I got a lot of love from her, you know, loyalty, all of that. I did have her wrapped around my finger, she did whatever I wanted, but I wasn't a good man for her at the time. So fast forward to the next good woman in my life. You know, I didn't have many good women, but when I have to admit when I'm wrong and when I had a good woman. So fast forward, then my ex-girlfriend, who was 9 years older than me, even though she wasn't healed from her past relationship, I also, as a man dating a woman that was 9 years older than me and that lived a different lifestyle than me, I wasn't accustomed to, I wasn't used to. So how to deal with a woman like that was difficult. And going through her breakups with her ex, I didn't give her time to heal from her ex. I didn't say, hey, let's stay friends, and work on our relationship until you're completely healed. Then we can start something official where we can be boyfriend, girlfriend, be sexual, go on romantic dates. Then we can get to that point. But instead, I rushed into it, and she wasn't ready. And even when she told me she wasn't ready, I still pushed too hard. I wanted to keep her for myself. I didn't want her to go backwards to her ex. So I was selfish, and I made a mistake. And it bit me in the long run. And it's not her fault, and I'm explaining that. So I had her wrapped around my finger. You know, she was always calling me, always texting me, always doing whatever I wanted. Had her jumping. All she had to say was how high. And this is not to degrade any women. You know, this is where a man or a woman needs to understand is when you have a man or a woman that wants and that is able to stay on track with you, calls you, texts you, hangs out with you, shows you love, loyalty. That's the person you don't want to lose, you don't want to take advantage of. So to give multiple examples is like me playing video games. She'll be there calling me every single day. And yeah, at the point when I wasn't in love with her, it was annoying. You know, I didn't want that attention. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want that phone call. I liked her. We was dating, but I didn't want it. So I became accustomed to her calling me all the time, looking for me all the time. Then it became I needed it. I focused too much on the wants and need from the relationship or what she's willing to offer me. So to make the story as short as possible is that I became ungrateful of the love and attention that I was getting, and I became disrespectful because I couldn't handle the drinking. And the drinking was out of control because of her ex-boyfriend, that she wasn't getting over him. I didn't know how to deal with the situation. I got a lot of advice eventually, but the damages were already done on my part, and it became toxic in the relationship between me and her. It became, let's see how much pain can we make the other person feel. So it became very unhealthy, but at the overall person that caused that pain was me. So why I say you don't know what you have until you lose it, because I didn't start changing my lifestyle or my behavior until I knew that that was the woman that I wanted. But at that point, it was too late. I completely changed her personality. I changed that woman that she was never the same. She became toxic, and then that same toxicness, she carried it on to the next relationship, and I broke her because I did too much damage to her. And the relationship couldn't be fixed. As much as I would say, hey, look, we got to stop being toxic because this relationship is not getting better. It's getting worse and worse and worse. But there's nothing that you can do at that point. That person has to heal on their own. I can't heal them. Even though I did the damage, I can apologize and then leave it be. And that becomes the next guy's problem. Which she moved on with her life. And I'll be like, oh, I'm happy for you. But at the end of the day, it's not my responsibility to heal her because I did the damage, but I can't heal it. I can just apologize and say, look, I'm sorry. I hope it gets better. So what I'm trying to say is you don't know what you have until you lose it, because once you lose it, you're heartbroken, you're crying, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you're begging that person to come back. Now, it's not everybody, but love feels good. But the breakup is the worst pain ever. I'd rather feel sick, and I'd rather feel sick than having a heartbreak. That feeling of a heartbreak, that feeling where you feel alone, you feel homesick, you feel without that person, like that person has died. It's a bad feeling. So appreciate what you have. Now, the advice, because it's already at 9 minutes, the advice that was given to me that I'm gonna give to you guys is learn to appreciate the good times. Ignore the bad behaviors because they're not going to be every day. So my boy told me, ignore it. That person doesn't want to hear you bitching and complaining every time about their behavior. The behavior. They're not going to want to be with you. They're gonna do stuff behind your back because they don't want to hear your mouth. They're gonna lie to you because they don't want to keep hearing it and hearing and hearing it. So just enjoy that person's company. And he wasn't the only one. I had advice before, like, look, enjoy it. Enjoy that company. Enjoy the sex. Enjoy the love. They're not perfect, but just ignore the rest. Tomorrow is another day. Today they're drunk. Tomorrow they're not. So don't worry about them being drunk. Focus on the good times. Yeah, they understood where I was coming from. They understood that it was toxic when that person was drunk, but they said ignore it. Tomorrow will be a better day. Have fun with it. Enjoy. And again, my boy was like, if you bitch and complain to that person every time about their behavior, they're going to want to leave. They're going to want to cheat on you, look for another man who's going to accept them the way they are, accept the craziness that they bring. Now, with this ex-girlfriend, even though she was 9 years older than me, we had a lot in common, and that's where we bumped heads a lot. We was able to hurt each other where it hurts. We knew how to get under each other's skin. And that was the problem, because we knew each other so well, and we were so compatible with, how to say, things that we like to do. Like us hanging out, you don't gotta have sex. You don't even gotta spend money, and we was able to have a great time. Just spending time with each other's company because we like the same things. Even the stuff that she didn't like, video games, I don't play video games all like that in the summertime. Wintertime is because I don't got nowhere to go. But even then, she'll make an effort to play Mortal Kombat, an example. So we was able to coexist together because of our personalities. It's just we collide because I'm not submissive, and I can't be submissive. It's just my personality. She can be submissive. Well, she was submissive in the beginning of the relationship, but because of all the damages that I did to her, she's not going to be submissive because she been there, done that. So for me was knowing that I did wrong and being happy that she's living her life, and all I can do is move on and learn from it and be happy with the next woman. Yes, we wish that things would have been different. Like, damn, you know, if this didn't happen, we would have been together. But at the end of the day, I think I can't fix a person that I've broken. I can't. That has to be the next guy's problem. And that was my issue when I first started with her, was that I was trying to fix a broken woman. And because I was trying to fix a broken woman from her last relationship, I ended up breaking myself, which made me break her even more. I didn't focus on me and tell her to heal on her own. So what I'm trying to say again is, life is short. It doesn't matter if, I know people that have been married for many years, 10, 15, 20, they fall out of love. And the relationship is not like toxic like mine's and my ex. It's just they fall out of love, and little petty arguments make them separate. Like, look, it's just not working out. And it'll be the dumbest argument. I'd be like, damn, I've been through worse than that, and they split up. But that's because they've been together for 10, 15, 20 plus years, and the attraction is no longer there. Physically, emotionally, there's no attraction. So they get divorced and they move on from each other. And those people have a better relationship than I did. And they walk away without a heartbreak because they're just over each other. And again, there's many men that got divorced, stayed single, eventually found a girlfriend, eventually was able to move on. So it's not just the fact that know what you have until you lose it. Not everybody's the same. Some people do want to separate from each other because they've been together for so long, and now they're like sick of each other, like, I'm done with you. But not everybody's the same. For me personally, there has to be more to the relationship. So I'm gonna give my example is, again, my ex-girlfriend. We had so much in common, and the two boys I was very attached to the two boys. Me and the two boys also had things in common. So even if we was together for 10, 15, 20 plus years and we were sick of each other, but because there's so much keeping us together, I don't believe it would have gotten to that point where, hey, we're going to get divorced because we've been together for too long and I'm tired of you. I'm bored of you. I want something fresh. I want something new. We were both spontaneous to the point where you can find new things to do. So anyways, the point is, you don't know what you have until you lose it. When that man or woman finds another man or woman, that's when you sit there and recognize, damn, another woman or another man has my partner. That's when you know there's no coming back from that. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to heal. It's done. It's over. But at that point, you realized it was too late, that you could have done things different. So for the younger generation, people my age who hasn't learned from their mistakes, admit when you're wrong and try to fix it before it's too late. When you first date a man or a woman, that's the time where you learn to appreciate that person. Eventually, you're going to recognize that person because at the beginning, it's always beautiful, butterflies, perfect. Eventually, you start seeing their true colors. That's fine. That's going to happen. You're going to realize, hey, I don't like this about this person. I don't like this about this person. But I still love them. I still want to be with them. Then you continue the relationship. Now, if you see stuff about them where it's like red flags, red flags, red flags, leave, right? Be done with it. But if you know that you have a good man and a good woman, learn to appreciate them. Because once you lose them, it's done. It's gone. And what you don't want to do is play tit for tat. They throw punches, don't throw punches back. Because the relationship, if you want to fix it in the future, all you're doing is making it worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get any better. The person has to take accountability. So an example, I'm the one that's doing wrong. I hurt my ex. I would have to take accountability and say, hey, look, I'm sorry that I said this and I'm sorry that I did this. If she didn't throw punches at me, we would have been able to communicate. But because I threw a punch, she throws a punch, and not literally, mentally, let's say. We keep throwing punches, no one's taking accountability. All we're doing is making the relationship worse and worse and worse. So 2 years of your relationship, all you've been doing is staying toxic, 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 toxic. No one sat down and say, hey, look, this is where I went wrong, and this is where I want to fix it. And then the person does the same thing, vice versa. If you go so many months and years of hurting each other, there is no coming back. Everyone has seen your relationship toxic. Nobody wants you together. The kids won't even want you together. So keep your relationship as private as you can. Ask friends for advice. Good friends who are not going to judge you as a woman or as a man, and that's not going to tell you to break up with a person as a first option. Always look for the better option is, can you make it work? If you can make it work, then give them advice to make it work. You don't always want to lead, oh, break up. You're breaking up a happy home. You know, something that could have been something better. Now, if it is to a point where it's going to be so toxic to the point where people are going to go to jail and get hurt, then yeah, advice is leave, walk away, move on with your life. There's more women, more men out there that are going to appreciate you and value you as a person. They're not going to be disrespectful. They're going to be loyal. They're going to have your back. So don't stay in a relationship that you know is failed. It's gone. It's done. You wash your hands and move on. So for me personally, I know that my ex didn't heal from me. And she's carrying that on to her new relationship. That relationship is not going to last because what starts wrong ends wrong. You can start something wrong and try to change it within that time period. In the beginning stages, try to fix it before it gets worse. So for me I know that my ex-girlfriend and her relationship is not going to work out. But that's not my problem. That becomes her problems with her new dude. My job is to move on with a new woman and not make that same mistake that she's making with her new relationship. My new relationship is me being healed and making sure that she's already healed. If that woman is not healed, don't start a new relationship. Let it be. So when I get into a new relationship, I appreciate that woman for what she is and what she brings to the table. And let her know that I appreciate her every time. So when she gives me her time, her love, her loyalty, respect, I got to remind that person, thank you, and be grateful for the things that they're able to give me. It's not about money. One thing that my mom did tell me, and I hope you guys lasted this long: money does not buy love. Money will give you happiness for a day. As long as money is involved, you will stay happy. But once the money is gone, what else do you have? What else love keeps you there? So if money's the only thing that's going to keep you there, that's not love. You can't buy love. You can't fall in love with a person because they have money. That's not real love. Once the money's gone, the person is out of their life. They're going to look for excuses to walk out and find a new person that has money. So if your man or woman leaves you because of money related, they don't love you. They never did. And their next relationship is not going to last. They're going to keep jumping from relationship to relationship. But your job as a person is to find yourself a stable relationship. A stable, healthy relationship where it's not going to break you. It's going to make you into a better person, but not break you. One thing about this relationship that I could say about my ex-girlfriend is that it made me grow as a man and learn where I went wrong. And I still, to this day, I'm 36 years old. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm perfect. But from where I came from to what I am now, I've learned a lot. Yes, it was very painful, but I've learned to grow from it. That I've learned to the next relationship, to what I'm willing to deal with and what I'm not willing to deal with. So if it's off the rip from the beginning of the relationship, it's already like bad, then no. I in the first day, you kind of find out if the woman is made for you or not. I've cut off women the same day I talk to them. Nah, I'm good. You come already with too much issues. No, it's not going to work. So knowing that person and where they come from, I don't even bother asking for a date when I talk to you the first day and you already crazy. No, it ain't going to work. You would know when that person is stable, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. You know when they're stable, and you also know when they're not stable. Know the flags when you see them the first time. Again, me and my ex would have been together for a very long time. We probably would have got married if I would have did it correctly. Knowing what I have before I lose it. Learning to behave and control my emotions and my behavior, I would have been with that woman, and that woman would have been wrapped around my finger. She would have been in love with me. This woman was telling her whole family about me and very proud that I was her man. Not about the things that I have, because I didn't have much, but very proud that the fact that, yeah, I was 9 years younger than her, but she was very proud that she had a man like me, the way I treated her in the beginning. And she would tell the whole world, I got a man. She was afraid, don't get me wrong, because of her last relationship, and I paid for those consequences. But at the end of the day, I wasn't man enough to be with a good woman either. So this is my help to you guys. Enjoy your relationship, enjoy your partner. Don't sit there and complain. You can tell them to change and give them time to change, but you cannot beat them over the head of complaining every single day. Me personally, if I know that I want a clean woman, and when I see women I see them on video calls, I see their photos, and their house is a mess, their room's a mess, that's a no-go from the rip. I'm not even going to sit there and try to convince you to change about cleaning. No, That's something your mommy and daddy should have taught you from the beginning, to be a clean woman or a clean man, you know, for those that are dating a man. If you are a disgusting person that can't keep your house clean, you can't keep your bathroom clean, your shower clean, and it's a mess all over the place, I can't date you. I wouldn't even bother trying. I would use you and abuse you in sex, but I would let it be known from the very beginning, hey, I can't date you. We can have sex as friends with benefits, but I can't date you. Know your limits. Don't use that person emotionally and waste their time like, oh yeah, we can be boyfriend, girlfriend, knowing damn well you don't want to be in a relationship with her. Be like, look, I'm just down to fuck. That's it, and leave it at that. And look for somebody else that's in your criteria. Like for me, I want a woman that at least knows how to cook something. She don't got to be a chef, but at least cook something, and that's willing to cook, and that is clean. That's just the minimum basic. And I better know how to spend money too. How to save money and spend money. If she's broke all the time and it's taken out of my wallet, no, I'm not dating you. You are a grown woman. You take care of yourself. Until we don't live together, we don't get married, we are going to keep our bills separated. So anyways, the point of the story is, it is true, you don't know what you have until you lose it. And I want to testify to that and help people out. You don't know what you have until the next day they die. Your family members, your kids, you lose your job. You think the grass is greener on the other side, and you believe, oh, my next relationship is going to be better. My next job is going to be better. So I'm going to focus on the next, not the current. You're not focusing on the current job. So you lose that job because you're too focused on the next job. Now that job is shit. You do the same thing with your relationship. Instead of focusing on the relationship you have now and fixing that relationship, you're focused on the next man, the next woman. So you're screwing up what you have now to get with somebody that probably is not going to work out. And then what you're going to do, run back to the other man, the other woman, and be like, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't work out, I really do love you. No, you don't. If you really loved me, you would stay and you wouldn't have moved on and tried to forget about me. If you really loved me, you would have stood by my side, tried to fix the relationship, talk about the relationship, admit when you're wrong, be like, hey, I did this, let's work on it. Let's stop being toxic, and let's start a new life. Let's start a new chapter. If that's real love. When a person's trying to move on forcefully, that's not love. They're trying to forget about you for a reason. Let them go. Time to move on. So again, know what you have before you lose it, because it'll be too late. Regardless of what it is. Cars, money, relationships, jobs, house. Realize what you have today before tomorrow you lose it. Appreciate what you have. Be humble. And every day try to maintain to keep it. Try to keep your relationship. Try to keep your kids and to have a better life tomorrow. Even if you believe in God or don't believe in God, tomorrow will be a better day by your personality, your behaviors. Your decision making will have a better impact tomorrow. So everybody, subscribe to my channel, put a like, put a comment. If you guys got advice as a grown man or a man my age, maybe even you're younger and you have more wisdom, put in the comments below advice on what to give to a younger generation, man or woman. This is not a battle against men and women, and I think that should stop. Women talking bad about men and men talking bad about women. It should be, how do we coexist together and make a family? Because nowadays everything is so expensive that not just one person can afford an apartment. You need a partner. Share responsibility, share bills, because we don't live in the age like back in the days when things were cheaper. Everything's gotten so damn expensive. It is hard for one man to pay for everything and still maintain his woman and the kids. So coexist together. Stop battling each other. Men versus women, women versus men. No. Men love women and women should love men. So anyways, got advice, put in the comments below. Put a like, subscribe to my channel. Always remember, appreciate what you have today before tomorrow is gone. We're not guaranteed a tomorrow. So everybody, God bless. Ride safe, drive safe. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.